Today I'm going to talk about how to use GitHub Copilot to create any technical documentation, any documentation involved in software development lifecycle. This feature of GitHub Copilot 99% overlooked by its users. So in this case we will be creating documentation for rock paper scissors game. I created two placeholders like user stories, product specification. This is empty file. Also we have empty files for the game. There is no implementation there. So that's basically just a skeleton of the project. Okay, so first document we are going to create is a product specification. As you can see, I enter a prompt into the Copilot chat. Instruct Copilot to create a comprehensive product specs for the command line rock paper scissors game and outline in the sections which are supposed to be included in that specification. You can adjust it to whatever is appropriate for your organization. Also at the end I added in our instructions for Copilot, keep doc in the single code block to easy copy paste, so it will not start formatting the doc inside the chat window. I want to just single code block so I can copy paste. Also I picked the more advanced model like Claude 3.7 Sonnet, which is higher in reasoning compared to GPT-4, or I think it's most suited for documentation creation. Okay, Copilot start working on our prompt, and as you can see it's starting to produce a product specification document for me, and it keeps it in a single block in MD format, so it will be really easy for me to copy paste it inside MD file. All section we outline in our prompt are present in this documentation, and I simply enter it into the product specification.md file. So for sure maybe the first round of specifications provided by Copilot will be not perfect, but this is a great starting point for anyone who is looking to implement idea of the future or app into the specification document. Next, we will be working on creating user stories. Most of the companies following agile software development lifecycle. So I enter a prompt and I set up a role here for Copilot to act as agile product owner. And now I will be using specification file we just created as a context for that prompt. And I provided a prompt template for user stories to follow. Act as a role, and for each story includes story title, user story itself, acceptance criteria, etc. Story points for sure is optional, but I added it. So you can add whatever is mandatory for your user stories in your organization inside that prompt. Now, one of the most important things for prompting in GitHub Copilot is providing a context. So I pick product specification.md file as a context. I attach it to my prompt. I use high reasoning AI model, and I start Copilot. As you can see, Copilot working, it started producing for me user stories. Again, after just couple seconds, I have a set of user stories created for me for now. As going forward, if I would, it would be real life project. I would just start copy pasting this user story inside Jira files, or maybe I would create them in the CSV format and just use a programmatic way to create ticket, and that speed up process tremendously. In this case, I executed prompt one more time to and instructed Copilot to keep all those user story in a single code block for me to copy paste into the user stories.md file. After we created user stories and specification document, I used Copilot agent mode to apply to implement those specification and create an actual working application for us. As you can see, with the three modes, ask, edit, and agent in Copilot, I pick agent model and prompted act as a senior Python engineer and implement rock paper scissors game based on requirements and user stories we just created. I instruct Copilot also to make sure a game is functional in a terminal. So I expect Copilot agent will run this game and make sure it's working. Don't forget to attach the context. Context is really important, so I attach it to product specs and the user stories as a context and basically run the agent, started the agent. As you can see, agent is start working, analyzing the files inside my project. It find out that it's already some implementation file there, but they are empty. So agent will use those files to implement the logic. So it start with agent.py to implement core game logic, and then it switch to utils.py to implement any util functionality. As you can see, the agent mode applied changes to the file itself, and it came back to agent.py to implement core game logic. And go back to utils file. I think the first pass was to just analyze those main agent and .utils, and now it came back and actually implementing a logic starting with agent, then utils, and then last one will be main main.py. The beauty of the agent mode, it will do everything for you. It create the code, create code implementation, it create unit test, it will run unit test and make sure the file is working and test is running and passing. This is basically the best what you can get from Copilot right now. It's agent mode. Okay, agent mode is doing a final check, make sure everything is correlated in between main, agent, and utils. It prompted me to start the game by running main .py. So I click continue and game started in my terminal. There are a few choices for player. I pick play game, and then I enter rock. Unfortunately, the computer won this time, but on the bright side, app is working no problem. I opted not to play more rounds and I just exit the game. So as you can see, we just used Copilot to create specification, user stories, and a code implementation and it took, with all explanation, just 9 minutes for us. At the end, agent mode of Copilot explained me what was implemented. It actually this time went an extra mile and marked user story which we implemented. He said, okay, all 9 user story were implemented. So Copilot verify everything is working, and that is great. So that was a short demonstration how to create user stories, specification, and code implementation, and we will move forward into creating our type of documentations. We will start with a test plan creation. So again, we entered our prompt. I prompt Copilot act as a senior QA engineer, so I assign a role to Copilot. I change mode from agent to ask, and I ask it to create, my intent is to create a comprehensive test plan based on specs docs and user stories. That's basically what QA do during their in software development lifecycle, using specs docs or user stories to create a test plan at least. So basically the test plan include the following sections, like a test strategy, test scope, test environments, etc. After that, I add a workspace chat participant as a context. So Copilot use more files than just specification and user stories we created as a context, but the implementation itself, I also added those 2 files I just mentioned it as well by using hashtag command. And again, I'm using advanced model for this, 3.7 Sonnet. And basically the workspace start working, collecting workspace references. As you can see, this time Copilot used 17 references because we used add workspace chat participant to create a test plan for us. This time I did not provide that instruction to keep everything in the same code block, so for me to copy paste, but that will be the good starting point for me, that the test plan. No, actually I did include Copilot, just didn't listen. Anyway, actually that will be a good starting test plan for me. It's have everything what I need. Next document I'm going to create, usually created by technical writers. So I assign a role as a technical to Copilot to act as a technical writer. And that will be a user guide for our rock paper scissors game. And again, I include in my intent what kind of section I expect in that user guide. I ask Copilot to make it user-friendly, comprehensive, and cover different user levels from beginner to advanced users. Copilot started to work, and basically, as you can see, starting to create a user guide in MD format for me. This time it listens and keeps that document in a single code block for me to copy paste. And it covers different sections: how to play game, advanced play, basic commands, game options, in-game controls, etc., etc. So basically, again, in a couple seconds, we got a comprehensive user guide, which will take for the technical writer a lot of, like, some time for sure to write, just to spend a lot of time. The one thing here, and this is pretty important to highlight, the technical document we created was not actually related to our game, because we did not provide any context to Copilot. So this is pretty important for you guys to understand. If you don't provide a context, Copilot will just give you generic answer. As you can see in this particular guide, Copilot asks users to run non-existing files which are not exist in our projects like game.py, etc. So I have to restart the session, Copilot session, open a new chat, and I have to provide a context. This is pretty important and teaching moment for all of us. If we are not providing a context, Copilot does know our intent, or it knows our intent, but does not have access to the context, to our project, etc. So in this case, I pick again add workspace chat participant. So Copilot will go through all files in our project. I also think, no, I did not attach a specific. No, I did. Okay, so I attach it as well as single files, custom instructions, and a users.md, as you can see on the top. But still, Copilot used 17 references, and now it creates a correct user instructions. You can see it uses the main.py to start game instead of the game.py, right? So this is a really critical moment for us and teaching moments to understand we have to provide a context to Copilot. Without a context, you will not get exact results. Again, user guide was pretty comprehensive. It covers everything. It's covered the game logic, how to install it. It provides screenshots on how it will look like on UI when you start playing it, main menu, and see it's exactly how it looked when we played the game. Command reference, etc. So technical guide is really comprehensive, including tables, everything. We can post it right as is into the website or the application description, anywhere for the users to use that application. A really powerful moment. And again, those Copilot capabilities of creating documentation most often overlooked by company. Company is not using that. They think Copilot is only for developers. No, Copilot for everyone who work in IT. Everyone. Architects, technical writers, QA, and even marketing engineers, or marketing, I would say, specialists. So going forward, I will show you how to create a marketing document or marketing strategies for our game using GitHub Copilot. But for now, let's start with architecture document. So again, I'm assigning a role here to Copilot to act as a senior software architect. And I ask him to create a technical design document. That probably should be done earlier in a software development life cycle, maybe after we have specifications. But basically, for our demo, it's okay to create it later. Again, as you can see how I constructing prompt, I'm assigning role, and then I'm putting my intent. In intent, I specify what kind of elements should be in that architecture document, and that could be different from org to org, but basically just an example. And yeah, I ask it to be in a single block, but I don't think it will listen this time. Providing context. Remember, we just made this mistake a couple minutes ago, did not provide a context. So this time I'm making sure the context is there. I'm using add workspace chat participant, and I'm attaching the product specification file and custom instructions .md file. Custom instructions probably not as important here, so I assign user story file as a context. Here we go. Okay, so starting the prompt. Again, as we used workspace, Copilot used 17 references and start creating a diagram for us. It's creating a system architecture, and it's explained how system organized in components. Still working on it. As you can see, that's our file, main.py, engine.py, utils.py. Then it explains why it is split in a module, when it describes each module logic, what it's supposed to do, then a data flow, etc., etc., error handling, future extensions points. So basically a pretty comprehensive architecture document based on our specifications. That's pretty cool. Yeah, I'm pretty happy with results. And last thing, as I promised, I prompt Copilot to create marketing materials for our game. This is a pretty short prompt just to demonstrate that marketing materials can be generated as well. If any one of you doing this marketing stuff or any other not 100% IT work related prompt in here, you can beef it up. But this is just to showcase that it's not limited to IT folks only. Even marketing specialists can utilize Copilot. Again, I'm using Advanced in Reasoning Claude 3.7 Sonnet model. As you can see, Copilot, even for this short prompt, started producing me a bunch of different marketing materials. Start with tagline options, give me the product short and long description, basically for the different maybe advertisement platforms. It provides me case setting points, right? Interruption-free gaming, and then basically the audience below for interruption-free gaming, and says, okay, for developers, your terminal ready. Why are you sitting here? Just start playing that rock paper scissors game. So as you can see, we have kept setting points, target, audience messaging for different group of individuals like developers, command line enthusiasts, casual gamers. Also, it gives me a social media post. I can post on X, LinkedIn, Reddit, and also email newsletter snippet. What? So basically the pretty decent marketing materials I can start with was done in, I don't know, 20 seconds? That's crazy. And I can use other models for this. And so comparing to ChatGPT, I have all my context in one place in my workspace, and I have access to really powerful AI models right inside my IDE. So I think that's it for today's video, guys. I hope that helped.